in the hearing when Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem discussed the department's budget for next year. Our viewers should hear what happened when the subject of Trump's immigration policy in the case of specifically Kilmar Abrego Garcia came up. Listen to this. Everyone, take a listen.
You agree, though, that this is doctored, is that right?
The same protocols that are
Madam
applied
Secretary,
to every
I want you to have credibility,
and
I want you to be taken seriously. Is this doctored or is it not doctored?
I am taken quite seriously.
Is it doctored or not doctored?
The importance that the president has given me to do
I understand. Is it doctored or not doctored?
One thing that's important to remember is that every single time a case is built.
Madam Secretary, I have a 7-year-old, a 6-year-old, and a 3-year-old. I have a detector. I'm just asking you, is this doctored or not doctored?
Sir, the protocols in the case built against
Can you
Abrego
answer the
Garcia
question?
Were exactly the same.
Madam Secretary,
I don't have any knowledge as to that photo you're pointing to.
Okay. Can you take
I don't,
her,
sir.
can you show her the photo? Walk her the photo down there. No, that one. Please take a look at this photo. It was tweeted by the president on April 21. It's been hanging out there for about a month.
So what is your point?
My question is the numbers and the letter MS-13. Could you look at the photo, please? It's right in front of you.
Are you saying Abrego Garcia is not a wife beater?
No, ma'am.
That he's not a criminal. He's not a human trafficker. And he's not a member of MS-13.
You vouched for Mr. Garcia when your team said, ma'am, you vouched for him when you said he was mistakenly deported.
Sir,
I didn't vouch for him.
I did not say
in that
he
photo.
should have been deported. Absolutely.
It's so telling that you won't look at the photo.
And we will not be bringing
Was
him back
it
to
doctored or not?
In staying here,
can you look to your right at the photo in front of you? Madam Secretary, can you look to the right at the photo in front of you?
I have seen this photo as you held it behind your head.
Thank you. And the letters MS and the numbers 13, are those doctored or not?
Testimony today is on a doctored photo. You don't want to talk about the facts.
Okay.
The importance of our national security.
You acknowledge it was doctored.
To make sure that the United States is protected.
Madam Secretary, this is not a hard question. Are those doctored or not?
Sir,
is that actually on his hand or not?
This is unbelievable to me that you're focused.
It's unbelievable to me that you can't look at the photo and tell the American people.
I looked at the photo, but I don't have any knowledge as to this photo.
Okay. How do you describe Noem's inability to answer a simple question asked too many times to count? Were committee members stunned by her almost pathological stonewalling?
I mean, this is the Secretary of Homeland Security, former governor, and a former member of Congress. She has no business clearly doing her current job. She very well knows that that photo is doctored, but she's, of course, first and foremost committed to doing whatever she can to ensure that her boss, Donald Trump, approves of what she's doing. You know, Kristi Noem is more interested in playing dress-up ICE agent and cosplaying as an ICE agent as she travels to foreign prisons and holds photo ops across the country. She could not answer a basic question, which we all know is that photo was doctored. And Congressman Swalwell, and I was in that room, did a great job of laying that out. She has no interest but to be cruel against people, against children, against U.S. citizens who are being deported, against asylum seekers who are coming to our country after we give them asylum appointments and then are being kidnapped to foreign prisons in El Salvador. What's happening in our country should alarm every American. And everyone should be able to watch that clip and see that we have an unqualified, unserious person as the director of Homeland Security. And as secretary, she should step down.
On Abrego Garcia, the judge overseeing that case called it, quote, an exercise in utter frustration, getting information from the government. As U.S. attorney said, state secrets, quote unquote, stopped them from sharing more on Garcia's status. What can they be withholding, Congressman, that isn't already publicly known?
Look, I think we're not sure exactly. What we do know is that nothing that has been put forward in court, nothing that has been put out in the public sphere has changed this case in any way. This is a 9-0 Supreme Court case now that lower courts have affirmed multiple times, 9-0, that has said that Kilmar Abrego Garcia should be returned back to the United States. In light of, we know that the administration has also said that they sent him there on accident. I mean, how can the Trump administration say we sent this person on accident and then not basically adhere to a Supreme Court case that's unanimous? And so this is a massive, massive constitutional issue that we're in right now. It's a crisis because we have a president defying a Supreme Court and now additional courts that are also now weighing in. This issue is not about Abrego Garcia, what he did, what he didn't do, and he was here. It's about following the order of the Supreme Court. People in this country are losing due process. United States citizens are losing due process. Students who are protesting their First Amendment rights are losing due process. And they are coming for you next. They're coming for Americans that are here, that are just trying to live their lives. The Trump administration is targeting people they don't agree with. Maybe they don't like your tattoo. Maybe they don't like your political party. Maybe they don't like that you're serving in Congress. But they are actively targeting folks, and we've got to speak loudly against these policies.
I have one more for you here, because there's a potential game show for U.S. citizenship. A producer says he pitched it to the Obama and Biden administrations. Nothing happened. He says no undocumented immigrants would be featured and no one would be removed from the U.S. as a result of the show, though. Can he guarantee this DHS would abide by that? But anyway, DHS says the show is not currently in development. What does a pitch like this even speak to? I mean, given the real tests, the requirements for the privilege of becoming a U.S. citizen, and given Trump's successful turn as a reality TV star, do you think that makes the prospect of a show like this more likely?
Oh, I'm sure Donald Trump and Christian Noem would love to see a reality show like this, and it's just sick. I am an immigrant. I became a U.S. citizen in my 20s. It is a hard process. It is a process that I'm proud of. Immigrants love this country. Raising my hand to take an oath to this country was the greatest day of my life, and I've done everything I can to give back to this country. All the country has given for me and my family, we try to give back in return. We work hard. And this idea that we're at today a point where families like mine, immigrants who have come here to work, to contribute, are essentially having the door shut, are being taken without due process. It's really un-American and not who we are as a country. So I hope that as we move forward, we understand that we must oppose Donald Trump and these policies forcefully, and that we must remember that this country was largely built by immigrants.
Let's start, Congresswoman Clark, with the Supreme Court's ruling blocking the deportation under the Alien Enemies Act of Venezuelan migrants the Trump administration claims are gang members. The ruling wasn't on the legality of Trump's use of the Alien Enemies Act to deport people, only that these men were entitled to more time than they were given to contest their deportations. And their removal's been barred for now, pending a new decision from a federal appeals court. What's your reaction?
Well, you know, at least the justice system still holds. At the core of this is due process, which is enshrined in our Constitution. And it's unfortunate that we have a president that is lawless and certainly does not adhere to his oath to his fidelity to the Constitution. So I'm glad that this Supreme Court rendering has come out. It's my hope that as this case continues, it will elevate the need to adhere to the laws of the land, which are enshrined in our Constitution, and that every individual that they have essentially kidnapped and taken to third-party countries is entitled to due process.
Now, Congressman Esbiat, the court took up another big case on Trump's immigration policies this week. This one on his executive orders banning birthright citizenship for the U.S.-born children of migrants and visitors. Nearly 24 states have sued the administration over that order, leading to nationwide injunctions from federal district court judges that the Trump administration argued are beyond their authority. They also teased the idea that the government could start requiring proof of U.S. citizenship from the parents of all newborns. What did you take away from the High Court's hearing on this matter this week?
Sorry, Reverend. We're very concerned about this birthright citizenship issue. We feel that Trump is trying to unleash what I termed a constitutional civil war, where at the end of the day, some states may protect U.S.-born children and give them the rights and privileges extended by the Constitution, and other states would deny it to them. So this is a very troubling executive order, and we're hoping that the Supreme Court would strike down any and all possibilities that this becomes law. Now, Rev, I was in Monterrey, Mexico last weekend, where I met with a family, a couple with 4 U.S.-born children that were deported, including a 10-year-old little girl who has a very severe brain cancer condition. And she's now not receiving the health care that she needs because she was deported with her mom and dad. Wow. So this is the state of affairs in America, where U.S.-born children are being deported, where potentially U.S.-born kids will be denied citizenship. So we got to push back.
Now, the Trump administration has been using its migrant purge as an excuse as it targets Democratic politicians and other critics. Newark Mayor Ras Baraka had a hearing this week on trespassing charges. He spoke with us about it last week, about his arrest outside of a detention center. Churches around his state is praying for him and stating things tomorrow morning. We are still waiting to see if Congresswoman Monica McKeever will also face charges related to that incident. There are local reports they could be coming. And we are learning former FBI Director James Comey was interviewed by the U.S. Secret Service for a social media post the administration claimed threatened the president. These seem like intimidation tactics.
This is violence. This is violence from Trump. Not only using political force against his rivals and threatening them with political force, with police force, and in doing it in some cases, but also dehumanization, which is what Noem is doing. And remember, when you serve in cabinet and you're not being fired, you're doing what the president wants. Because the president can't just fire a judge. He can't just fire a member of Congress, right? Can't do that. President can fire a member of his cabinet. That's he has that pleasure to do. They serve him in achieving his objectives as president. And so Noem's suggestions are Trump's suggestions. And Trump arresting political rivals, and Donald Trump, also let's be clear, pushing game shows that make out people who are struggling to be little more than like little dolls in our TV to be our amusement. That's dehumanization. And if you want to know what happened in 1930s Germany, and I'm not comparing these two things, obviously, like there's obviously a lot of differences, but that did not start just on one day in the late 1930s. That took years of dehumanization and of propaganda and of using the media to make Jewish people and other people look, quote unquote, less than human, not as human as the good, make Germany great again people. And you needed to do that because if you didn't do that, people would be less likely to accept it. And so the violence did not start on the night of broken glass. It started with newspapers. It started with media. It started with film. It started with caricatures and, discriminatory drawings. And this TV show that Noem wants to do, and therefore Trump wants to do it too, or he would fire her, that's an act of violence right from the top.